to follow that. And I think there are a few of us that could. What we're going to try to do is try to get now to some of the data, some of the information, so folks can be armed with it to be able to do something about this war that she just described. If we can start on the end, just to have you a brief introduction of who you are and why you're here tonight, Mr. Robinson. We'll take the mic.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Robinson, and I am with Family and Medical Counseling Service Incorporated. I am the Regional Syringe Service Program Coordinator for Family and Medical Counseling Service. We're located right up the street at 2041 Martin Luther King Avenue, Southeast. We're a full-service medical facility and organization that provides services, harm reduction services, syringe support services. We do HIV testing, Hep C testing. We provide harm reduction services, which simply means we try to save people's lives where they are. Where we meet them, we try to save them, to keep them safe. We thoroughly believe that you can't evaluate the value of a person's life before you save the person's life. So every life is worth saving. If the blood is running warm through your veins, then you're worth saving. There's hope. So we meet people where we are. We're in the trenches. We're in all of the hot spots throughout the city. And I work with a great team of men and women who aren't afraid to touch the problem, who aren't afraid to get close to what the perceived problem is. So all of the hot spots, everywhere where drugs are being sold and drugs are being bought, that's where we are. Our goal is to try to prevent overdoses, administer Narcan education and prevention for overdoses. So we're blanketed in the city trying to provide those services.
Dylan?
My name is Dylan Kusar. Currently, I'm a youth peer support specialist. I work under my mother with Revise Inc. Currently, I'm trained to be able to train other people in Narcan, but I'm still continuing to learn every day, even though I'm trained. And I'm not sure what else to say. I'm pretty new to this.
That's just fine. You did just fine, Dylan. Thank you.
My name is Sandra Holland. I'm in recovery at Oxford House. I live in Oxford House. Hey, let me turn it on. Okay. I'm in recovery. I'm in long-term recovery in Oxford House, Avalon, up on Mapleview. I've been in Oxford House for like 4 years, in recovery for 4 years. I was a person that fought addiction for over 40 years. I just celebrated my 61st birthday in May. And it was a struggle for me. I mean, I was introduced to recovery back in the early 80s, but I wasn't ready. Coming through recovery, I had to learn that a lot of my running and using was due to what went on, the feelings that I was pushing down in my childhood. You know, so I had to get help. And I'm the type of person, or used to be the type of person, I wouldn't ask anybody for any help. You know, I'm the type of person, I can do everything by myself. You know, I don't want to bother anybody. I'm going to distance myself in my using, so that way I'm not hurting anybody. This is the things that I was telling myself. You know, I OD'd like about 4 times. I use everything from crack to pills to whatever you want to name it. It's nothing glorified about it, but in the end I was using heroin. You know, I was on the streets. My last run, I was at 12th and U Street, panhandling in front of 7-Eleven. With my suitcase, right at 11th Street, that's where I slept on the steps. In and out of treatment, in and out of PIW. Each time, I was telling myself that I was getting myself clean, but I was just, you know, building myself up for another run. And in the end, I suffered from depression. You know, I found out that I do suffer from bipolar, because a lot of times we need that extra help to help us. But I let the God of my understanding, take me, because I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't have any hope. I didn't think I had any purpose. But he told me that that's a lie, Sandra, you do. So I went into treatment, and in my last run, I went into an Oxford house. They found me in Oxford house because I'm the type of person, I need structure. I need structure. I didn't want to go, but I went anyway because I said, well, I don't deal with women. Why you don't deal with women, Sandra? But I've learned that it's not that I don't deal with women. I just didn't want to deal with a whole lot of different personalities because I didn't want anybody to know who I was. Because I didn't know who I was. And it's still a daily process, learning Sandra, learning the things that I need to change. Through recovery and through the Oxford House, I was able to build back my boundaries up, my responsibilities. I got a couple of certificates. I'm a peer recovery coach and also a peer recovery coach specialist. I got that through Oxford, and I also have a job with DCRCA, DC Recovery Community Alliance. So there is hope. There is hope if you give yourself a chance, and we are here to help. You just have to reach out. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Nora Green Lane, and I am the DCOR Opioid Response Program Manager with the Ward 78 DC Prevention Center. And for many, many years, we have been out here in the trenches working with community and community organizations to really inform and provide education, build capacity, leadership, and community engagement around all substances. And I recently came back after doing stints in different places to help lead this opioid response. My father's in recovery. He went through Oxford houses. So recovery is possible. Relapse happen often, but recovery is very possible. And our goal right now, once I came back and saw the numbers, I said, I'm going to be here until we break this trend. But the heartbreak for me is that I'm a mother with a 7-year-old, and I have adult children, stepchildren, and the heartbreak for me is that I could be in that shoe. So I don't want anyone to think that you are special, that this is everybody's child. And this is everybody's death that's happening, because right now the larger group is someone who could be your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt, your uncle. And now it could be your child, your brother, your sister. Basically, everybody it can be. And so the goal here, and it's very unfortunate, but if we have to ring the alarm as Dr. Mitchell did, we got to continue to ring the alarm. And fentanyl is in everything. So that is a synthetic opioid. It is a prescribed opioid, but it's somehow they got their hands on it, and it's in everything. So if you think you're smoking weed at some point in time, they dropping it in that. They smoking it, they putting it in those little cigarettes. It is absolutely nothing that fentanyl is not in. And when they do those autopsies, it went up. And every time it went up, more deaths happened. It is extreme right now. And I hope that right now, if you hear my voice, you can text to live 888-111, and you can get Narcan at different pharmacies throughout the city. But it is more harmful than you think. That's a hashtag. It's true. It is happening at an alarming rate. And when you say only 37 youth died, what? That could be your child. So it's not just only or 400 only. It is your family member. Somebody knows somebody. I was just at a meeting earlier today, and a woman came up to me and she said, and she was well into her 70s, and she said, I had 6 siblings, and all of them died from overdose. And she was a user. She said, but 30 years ago, she prayed. And from that point forward, she made a change in her life. So all I'm saying is that we can make a change. We are not here to stigmatize those that use. My father used all kinds of stuff. He also suffered from PTSD. The other thing that we need to understand that most often people are having co-occurring disorders, an opioid use disorder, a mental health disorder. But we can get support for that, and we have in community support organizations that are available, like Family Medical Counseling Services, like HIPS. They come to you, they meet you. What that really means, to meet you where you are, you might still be using while they talking to you. All right, well, here's a Narcan, because you may not be ready for treatment yet. And you might do that a couple of years before you finally say, enough is enough. Our goal right now is to get people to live long enough to go to that point that Miss Holland was at and said, I'm ready. I'm really, really ready. But it may take a number of steps for our children, because they're getting these things different ways and sources. My heart goes out to Miss McBroom, because I can never, I don't know, most of you, if you're a parent, you probably put that little mirror over your child anyway just to see if they was breathing, just because. And that moment, that horrific moment, it is no joke and is not to be played with. This ain't no game, y'all. This ain't no Russian roulette. This thing is taking you out immediately. Believe that. It's just that. And we have a chance to save lives, and we have a chance to let people know the truth. The truth sets us all free, but we got to do something about it. And sitting around having meetings don't work. You got to hit the streets. Thank you.
Dr. City, can you give us a bit of understanding of what fentanyl and opioids have done over the past 5 years in this city, and what has been going on with it nationwide?
I appreciate being here and being a part of this. I mean, y'all are at a go-go learning about opioid overdose and treatment. So give a round of applause to all those that care enough about community to make sure that this is discussable, that our mental health is discussable, that our trauma is discussable, until we decide to make everything discussable and that we unpack our dark places, we're not going to be healed. And we all got dark places. We've all been misused and abused in our childhood or even in our adulthood. I come to you as a child of a crack cocaine addicted father. I used to sit in the back seat of his Cordoba while he smoked crack and look back in the back seat. I see it like it's yesterday, asking me if I wanted some. 10 years old, when prostitutes would sit in his front seat and do all types of things while I was in the back seat with a He-Man on my lap. Trauma that forced me into my own issues, but trauma that I refused to succumb to because people wrapped their arms around me. Community members wrapped their arms around me. Men wrapped their arms around me and said that I could be more than what I was seeing and what I was doing, and that I could be actually successful, that was something that was real. And until we realize that we have to dig deep into those recesses. My father didn't become clean until he was 60 and became a peer recovery coach and was at Harbor Light on right there on New York Avenue and got clean and was doing it for the VA. And so there is a way to get clean and do the things that are necessary. If we're honest, those of us that are doing this work, we're doing this work because we were beat down by our past. So instead of running away from our past, we ran to our past to do the work, right? Everybody in here that thinks that are trying to get free are freeing people that are enslaved by the things we were enslaved to. And so this thing is about freedom. I walked into this place, a brother greeted me, he said, "Are you ready for the revolution? It won't be televised, but it'll be online." I think he said something like that. But this is the revolution, when we decide that we're going to take advantage of our own freedom and be free because we said so, not because someone else said so. And so, as the chief medical examiner, when I was the chief medical examiner of Washington, D.C., I got here in 2014. You know how many opioid overdoses there was in 2014 when I first got here? Every month there was 4. There was 4 opioid-related overdoses every month when I got here in February of 2014. In 2015, it got to 8. I rang the alarm. I said, it doubled. We got a problem. It doubled. Bing, 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 bing. It doubled. We're at 29 every month right now. We've gotten up to 41 opioid-related deaths in the District of Columbia every single month. And see, now let me be clear. I've been in rooms like this early in the process. They was like, you know, white people die from that. That's white people that die from opioid overdoses. I was in rooms, they was like, Doc, come on, man. Black people don't die from opioids. That's white people. It only became a problem when white people died. I said, it's been a problem when black people died. It's still a problem. And the resources were going to communities that were putting things out there. Now that we have resources and unlimited resources in the District of Columbia, y'all got mad resources. We have resources that if you walk right now and said, I need mental health support, they be falling over themselves trying to get you the support. Because we don't believe in the support. We have problems in our community suggesting that we have mental health related issues. When we come from an institutional, structural racism community that has been beat down and lack of access to education, economics, housing, healthcare, and criminal justice, you mean that hasn't affected you? It's affected me. It's affected me, and I make money. You know what I'm saying? So it affects all of us. And so we have to come off of this hiding from ourselves and decide that we're going to do what's important. 411 in 2020. So now it's claiming our babies. So in 2015, 20% of all opioid-related deaths had fentanyl involved. 20% of all opioid-related deaths had fentanyl involved in 2015. In 2020, 95% of all opioid-related deaths have fentanyl involved. When they say fentanyl is everything, I don't buy cereal because I think fentanyl is in it. I don't put sugar on my stuff because fentanyl is in everything. And I make light of it because I deal with death for a living. So all these deaths that you're talking about, I just left the medical examiner 120 days ago. So it's not like I forgot about all the autopsies I've done in my career of opioid-related overdoses, homicides, cardiovascular disease, all the things that are facing our community. So I've seen our cousins, our uncles, our brothers, our aunties die from this thing. And so if this is the moment, because we got babies dying, okay, let's do it then. If this is the moment that we need to stop and make it discussable and reach out and combine, because the same thing that gets a brother to pick up a gun to engage in violence is the same thing that gets someone to pick up something and put it in their mouth to get high. It's self-medication. It's the same things that engage us. And it's so important for us to work with each other. I have a 60-year-old daughter. I wanted her to come. I said, baby, come. She battles with depression. She battles with issues. I said, come, you need to be in this space so you know that we're not alone doing this work.
That's right.
That we're not alone trying to get ourselves together.
That's right.
That we're part of a community. We're family. I know I got a lot to say. Just real quick on opioids, how it works. It attacks your brainstem. It makes your brainstem think that you have more oxygen than you need, so you fall asleep. When you're asleep, you don't use as much oxygen. So it puts you to sleep to suggest that you don't need as much. It dupes your brainstem to believe you don't need to breathe. And fentanyl does it like that.
Thank you, Doc.
You got it. You got it.
Panel, I've been told we're running kind of short on time. I want y'all to be thinking about something. I want to come back to you all with notions of solutions, okay? Well, we're going to open the floor up a bit for some questions.
How many of you are tired of seeing people die in your community? How many of you out here are willing to be How many of you are willing to be ambassadors? All right. So, yeah, for Narcan. So can I get a hand for everybody who's going to be an ambassador starting today? Which means when you leave here today, you're going to be ready to save a life. You know, we can do all this little silly stuff out there, all the stuff that don't mean nothing, but today, we're putting a weapon that will save lives in your hand. We have all the professionals here, we have all the directors here, and all the money has been invested to make this happen. So what I need to know is, how do we make this happen? Who's here that can train them real quick, right? So that when they leave, they really know what to do. It only should take about 5 or 10 minutes. Somebody come up here and train them, and then we put it in their hand, and we know we got at least 50 to 70 people leaving here that are ambassadors to save lives in our community. So who's gonna come up here and train them? So we know that every dime that was spent here today was worthy of spending.
Interesting. Actually, I missed the next question I was going to ask was Dylan. Young man, can you tell these folks, what does it take to be trained? What does it take for you to train other people? How hard is it to deal with this Narcan, this thing that will save lives?
To be trained, it really doesn't take a long time. You could train someone right now. Someone can train you all right now how to use Narcan, and you'll be able to have the knowledge to go out there and save someone's life. To be able to teach someone, well, the test you take, you can pass it, but you're gonna have to keep learning every day so you can retain the knowledge, of course. And
How long did it take you?
oh, just a day, about 2 hours. 2 hours, I believe.
Have you trained other people yet? Give us one last comment from you about, from the individual, what does it take?
Well, what it takes is you have to be willing. You have to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because there are so many people out here waiting to help you.
The two folks that have got projects y'all are building, start with you, if you don't mind, Doc. Tell us what's available out there for folks in the city, and then you want to talk about your two programs at MLK and Seat Pleasant. Mr. Robinson, you two, tell us what's available for folks out there.
Okay, so we have if you don't have Narcan, if you want to just let folks know where they can go, that's first and foremost. So text to live, 888-111. So 3 8s and 3 1s. What you'll get is a text message, and it'll show you where you can map that. Send that to somebody that you think might need it. Doesn't matter. Say no more. We also have website, the DC Ward 78 DC Prevention Center has the YouTube channel where young people, and by the way, we do train young people on how to be messengers themselves. And so we encourage anybody who has a young person that wants to be part of this as a collective, please bring them to us. Our number is 202-388-3001. We're located on Benning Road, Minnesota Avenue at the Marshall Heights building, okay? We have 4 prevention centers throughout the city, and they all do exactly the same. We are supporting 12 different community-based organizations with work in their community, because even though it's 7 and 8, Hillcrest looks different than Kenilworth. Congress Heights looks different than Anacostia. So it's neighborhood specific. Your neighborhood is your neighborhood, and we don't pick and choose. You want us there, we'll be there for you. And we have information and resources for you, okay? And so these are the things that you can do. You can be a part of it, and you support Ron in this effort in the community. We will be doing some trainings, and we'll let people know when those trainings happen. We work with the Anacostia Coordinating Council and other harm reduction teams throughout Ward 7 and 8.
Mr. Robinson?
We're located Family Medical Counseling Services is located right at 2041 Martin Luther King Avenue Southeast, right up the street, directly up the street. And we also, right by the big chair, exactly. And we also have a location 5936 Martin Luther King Highway in Seat Pleasant, Maryland. Both offices provide full medical services. Up the street here on MLK, we provide behavioral health services. We provide Medicaid-assisted treatment. We also provide substance use disorder assessments. So if someone has a substance use disorder and they want to get help, we can bring them to our facility. We can Uber them from where they are directly to our facility, no matter where they are in the city, Uber them directly to where we are, do the assessment, and then refer them on to treatment, whatever their assessment needs calls for. We also provide harm reduction services, which means that we're providing sterile syringe services to individuals within the community that are currently chemically addicted to substance uses, IV drug users. So we're providing all kinds of sterile syringes along with drug using tools, along with overdose prevention and education. So we're giving people Narcan to use. We go out and do trainings at different facilities throughout the city. Various churches throughout the facility have asked us to provide trainings to their constituents and people within their community areas. So our number is 202-889-7900. And we're located again at 2041 Martin Luther King Avenue Southeast on the 3rd floor. You can walk in, you can give us a call, we'll set up an appointment. Our teams are throughout the city Monday through Friday. So, we're clearly identifiable. Our RV has all of our logos on it. Our testing vehicle has all of our logos on it. We do HIV testing, Hep C testing, and STD testing.
That you're dealing with is a different approach to how you all are handling this?
So let me be clear, we do prevention. And what does that look like? We don't do treatment or recovery. We are funded through the Department of Behavioral Health, okay? And so if you need, the number is the DBH Access Helpline number. 1-888-7-WE-HELP. 1-888-7-WE-HELP. That's why we help each other, because our community folks know. So if you need any support, treatment, or behavioral health, that number is the critical number. 1-888-7-WE-HELP. Okay? Send that to somebody that needs support.
Thank you.
For youth, we train them on how to do this.
Thank you. The panel's going to close with where we started. We're going to leave Ms. McBroom with the last words if you want to leave us with something for the night.
Again, I just want to thank everyone for coming out here tonight. I want to thank Yvonne for taking this opportunity to create this platform and have me here. I want someone to say Jayla's Way. Jayla's Way. That's going to be birthed on behalf of my daughter. I plan on continuing on with her legacy and making sure that we help other children out here in our community. So I'll be looking forward to seeing me out here in your neighborhood soon. Thank you.
We're going to wrap up things here. We're going to get a quick training at the end of the speech porter. And generally, I don't deal in answers. I deal in questions. And I've been thinking about this notion of fentanyl and what it's doing and this drug use and what it has been doing in recent years. We go through this pandemic where we're all supposed to be washing our hands all the time. And for some of you all, I'm going to say something that's going to sound real familiar. It's barbecue season. It's cookout season. You go to the cookout and you always ask the question, who made the potato salad? Right? Who made the potato salad? Who had their hands on it? Are they clean? Are they not? Well, you think about the drugs that are used out there. And maybe the question where you're trying to ask folks, you're trying to help somebody that's out there, maybe you ask them, if you won't eat potato salad from somebody where you don't know where it came from,
You better say that louder.
why are you smoking something if you're not sure where it comes from?
That's right.
So that's the 2 cents that I'll add. And that's my question. It's the potato salad question.
What about the youth? I mean, they have nowhere to go. We are parents. We probably the last people that they want to talk to because we want to think we got the answer. Where can we take our youth when they are seeing their friends die? They got more t-shirts with their dead friends on it and Carter got liver pills. That's traumatic.
And I'm going to say PIW is not enough.
Yes.
Sasha Bruce is not enough. It's not enough. It's not many outlets for our children out here, and I can tell you that firsthand, Wendy. You know, I've been going through this battle for a long time. And like I said, it's a whole other can of worms. But I promise you, it's going to be some services for youth when I get finished. By the time I'm finished. Like you said, I'm ready for war.
What you're dealing with is a different approach to how you all are handling this.
So let me be clear, we do prevention. And what does that look like? We don't do treatment or recovery. We are funded through the Department of Behavioral Health, okay? And so if you need, the number is the DBH Access Helpline number. 1-888-7-WE-HELP. That's why we help each other, because our community folks know. So if you need any support, treatment, or behavioral health, that number is the critical number. 1-888-7-WE-HELP. Okay? Send that to somebody that needs support.
Thank you.
For youth, we train them on how to do this.
Thank you. The panel's going to close with where we started. We're going to leave Ms. McBroom with the last words if you want to leave us with something for the night.
Again, I just want to thank everyone for coming out here tonight. I want to thank Yvonne for taking this opportunity to create this platform and have me here. I want someone to say Jayla's Way.
Jayla's Way.
That's going to be birthed on behalf of my daughter. I plan on continuing on with her legacy and making sure that we help other children out here in our community. So be looking forward to seeing me out here in your neighborhood soon. Thank you.
We're going to wrap up things here. We're going to get a quick training at the end of the speech porter. And generally, I don't deal in answers. I deal in questions. And I've been thinking about this notion of fentanyl and what it's doing in this drug use and what it has been doing in recent years. We go through this pandemic where we're all supposed to be washing our hands all the time. And for some of you all, I'm going to say something that's going to sound real familiar. It's barbecue season. It's cookout season. You go to the cookout and you always ask the question, who made the potato salad? Right? Who made the potato salad? Who had their hands on it? Are they clean? Are they not? Well, you think about the drugs that are used out there. And maybe the question where you're trying to ask folks, you're trying to help somebody that's out there, maybe you ask them, if you won't eat potato salad from somebody where you don't know where it came from,
You better say that louder.
why are you smoking something if you're not sure where it comes from?
That's right.
So that's the 2 cents that I'll add. And that's my question. It's the potato salad question.
What about the youth?
I want to say PIW is not enough.
Yes.
Sasha Bruce is not enough. It's not enough. It's not many outlets for our children out here, and I can tell you that firsthand, Wendy. You know, I've been going through this battle for a long time. And like I said, it's a whole other can of worms. But I promise you, it's going to be some services for youth when I get finished. By the time I'm finished. Like you said, I'm ready for war.
I'm from the Department of Behavioral Health, and we have youth-specific services because we know they have different needs. So there are 4 providers within the district that service youth. Hillcrest is probably the closest one. They partner with the prevention centers, so we'll get that information out to you. Whoever, Ron, if we can get that out to the folks at RSVP, and it's on our website actually. So if you go to the DBH website, Department of Behavioral Health, you will see a section that says youth-specific services. Is it enough? Probably not. So keep advocating, and there's a lot of money, as Dr. Mitchell said, coming into the community. If you have ideas, specific interventions, youth have to be treated differently than adults. They have different problems. So we have to have youth-focused services. So we want your ideas. Unfortunately, this is tragic that we're here today to do this. And, but it's going to be a movement. I'm so touched by the fact that everybody wants to get involved. We want to hear what you have to say. So please come to us. Ron will get out my number on the State Opioid Treatment Authority. So we need to be able to move this issue along. And go to our website. There's information there about all kinds of treatment services.
Each box has 2 individual sets of Narcan. Okay. Recovery position. Once they coming to, you don't want them to choke on their own. Sometimes people vomit. and you don't want them to choke on, so you lay them on the ground and put them on their side. Use one arm as a pillow. Use their leg in this position, the top leg, so that they can't roll any further. That's very important. And then you stay with them until help arrives. That's the short of it. That's it, and that's over. Question? Yeah.
Okay, when I went to one of the trainings the other day with
Yes.
William, Miss April opened it up and pushed it like so I would know how to use it. So I know how long it's taking me this one hit to let the people know how to actually use it. I'm just confused why he didn't do that.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
I'm saying we want you to demonstrate to the rest of the people how to use it. Go ahead, give it to them.
That's what you get paid for.
No, I get paid for talking.
No, you got it. No.
So,
I don't push it for
hey, another thing, I'm gonna have to really give up the mic, but I want to say this. The key to, if you want to change what's going on in our communities, and you grab a young man like I did, and you tell him everything positive that you know. That's all you gotta do. If everybody grabs somebody that's receptive, that's open, and give them what they know, you'll be amazed how fast things change. The second thing we need to do is all these people up here that like Mo, I appreciate what you did, but like him, there's a lot of people that have platforms that have a network. Then they need to find people that is positive and let them do what they can do. We need to connect, stop being individualized. Thank you.
Thank you to all the panelists for sharing your stories and for sharing your expertise. You helped me to really look good. We're going to finish up with the advice. When Mo asked me to do this, I did some reporting and started asking city officials what's the most important thing that can happen here. And the thing that they said is start to get trained in Narcan, get trained in some first aid, and learn how to use it and start carrying it with you. So